Hi guys, it's me, Inky Burb. Now, I do know that this is a very different scenery than the videos that I have made before, but I actually wanted to do this for a few different reasons. That's why. One, I wanted to talk about my experience at Twitchcon, and two, I wanted to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. Oh my god, like this is freaking crazy. And this really means a lot to me. I know like 100's a really low number, but you don't understand how big 100 is to me. I honestly never would have thought I would ever get 100 subscribers. It's just such a weird like thing to see. Like, oh, you have over like 100 subscribers. Like, that is so crazy to think that there's like over 100 of you guys wanting to watch my videos or like what I do. Or maybe you just like, you don't even know who I am, you just subscribed. Maybe you guys are just bots. Maybe you guys aren't even real. Who knows, but I'm still grateful either way. And this isn't going to be like the only video I'm going to like talk about having 100 subscribers. This isn't going to be the only video where I'm going to talk about having 100 subscribers. I'm going to make a special video for that just because I want to show how grateful I am to you guys to watch my videos, comment, like, and like everything else, especially like supporting me on stream and stuff. It really does mean a lot. And hopefully I can make that video sooner than later. But anyways, guys, I just want to say thank you again for showing the support of subscribing and watching my videos and stuff. It really does mean a lot to me. And I guess we could just get on to the main point of what this video is about, which is going to be the TwitchCon experience. So there are a few of you that know that I recently just went to TwitchCon in San Diego, and it was an experience. So I guess I can just talk about my 3 days really quick if I could. Maybe tell a few stories of what happened, what I did, and all that stuff, and then we'll just get on to like, what's my review, what's my take, what should they do better, and like all that stuff. So the first day was on Friday. We got there, we got our like a badge, we got everything. And immediately, right as we got our badge and like the expo hall opens, we head upstairs to go to the meet and greet. And this is where the first problem happened. So it was me and a friend, we wanted to see George, and then we get told while we're in line, like, hey, guess what? Sapnap, Carl, and George are all together. They're gonna have like a big meet and greet. And I was like, oh, awesome. I can meet all three of them. And we were in the second queue, which means, hey, I have a good chance of getting to see them. But the one thing that really sucked was the security, because they didn't know what they were doing. When we were in line, they immediately started taking people at like the back of the line, like the end of the line, first before the people who were in like the first queue and the second queue, which is where I was at. They were taking people who just like arrived there. And security was just being like, they didn't know what they were doing. I would ask, like, me and some other people were asking people, like the workers, the security people who was like running it, like, hey, is this the right line? What are like all these questions? Because we were like, we want to get to see them. We want to get to meet, like, you know, we wanted to meet them. And they kept giving us either like the same answer, like, oh, you guys are fine, like you're totally gonna meet them, like it's totally okay, to like, oh no, you guys aren't gonna make it. And I think the sucky part was that, again, they said, oh, don't worry about it, like you're fine, you're totally gonna see them, when in reality we probably should have worried about it. No one had no clue what security was doing. And I also was able to talk to like a few people too when I was at the con. They were saying that when they got there, like when it opened, when they got to like the meet and greet to get in line, security made them go back downstairs and made them like come back up, because I don't know why, they were just being really rude about it. So my other concern, do you guys know what the Dream SMP is? It's like a little small, what can I say, server, and it has a bunch of small creators that helps bring a community together. It's really tiny, it's not that big. It totally doesn't like, you know, fill rooms and make, like have thousands of fans, like totally not. It's something tiny, just something little tiny, small. It's small. Well, they had a panel, so I was actually in the line for the panel. And something you guys should know is they put the Dream SMP panel in the smallest room possible. And next door to the smallest room you can imagine was the like a huge freaking theater. This small room can fit maybe 400 people. The next theater can fit, I want to say, 2,000 or more. And there was a lot of people. And the panel in general was just awful. And I'm not saying like the creators did a bad thing. Like, no, the creators were great. They were there to do their thing. It was just, it had to do with the questions. The host, like, not really doing much. From what I heard, it was just really awkward. Wasn't really, like, contributing much. I'm not sure. That's what I heard. And again, like, the venue was just terrible. Like, it just didn't make sense. And what made this worse was that while we were in line, like, waiting, like behind the door, there's like a big long line. Like, we're all a single file. We're all like being respectful to each other, like giving each other space and stuff. In the front of the door, there's like a huge mob of people. And there was people who got hurt because of this mob. And what's so weird is that Twitch knows how big this Dream SMP panel is. One, they saw how VidCon was. VidCon was freaking huge. Like, there were so many people at that panel, and I went to it, and I barely got a seat. And a lot of people had to stand behind us. And another thing is they had TwitchCon Amsterdam. It's the same thing. They had a huge theater. So what made this different? What made this whole TwitchCon San Diego different to not have, like, a huge theater? So I don't understand what Twitch was thinking. Like, oh no, like, there's not gonna be that many people. Dude, this has been, like, the biggest thing. This is what is making, like, I'm not saying all Dream SMP is making Twitch, but a majority, that's what people are watching. Like, they're watching Rambu, they're watching Dream, they're George, or, like, all of them who stream, that's who they're gonna watch. And saying that they're gonna be at your, like, con and gonna, like, have a panel, you would expect, like, at least over 1,000 people to watch it. It just didn't make sense. And plus, like, security didn't know what they were doing. They were just being really rude to everyone in line. They were, like, being rude to people. Like, it was just a terrible thing. It was, like, a bad experience that day. And to go with the questions that they were asking at the panel, they were asking, like, a lot of people were just asking about, like, if they could take photos for them, take my Be Real. They were asking them, like, oh, can I give you a hug? Can I give you a high five? Can I give you a fist pump? Even asking, like, oh, do you like my shirt?
Do you like my shirt?
I can't really see it.
We have lights blasting in our faces.
What? Oh wait, I see what it is now.
I put a lot of effort into this.
You know who you are. If you're watching this video, why would you ask that? Why would you even wear that? What is wrong with you? And another person actually taking George's bottle, like, from the table, like, just grabbing it. Why? Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? And for the rest of the day, it was good. It was good. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of creators I liked.
Squish that cat.
Day 2, it was better. It was a lot better. The security was a bit nicer. And I was able to actually go to the panels I wanted to go to. I was able to watch the Food Beast one, like the food battle. And I was able to watch Name Your Price. Like, those two were, like, awesome. I loved it. But let me just say, the Name Your Price one was, oh my god, it was so good. I loved it. I love Name Your Price. I watch it. I watch it when I do drawing or when I'm doing, like, I use it as, like, background noises, but I just love the show. It's I love the concept. I would love to go on that show one day. If I ever become big, I really want to go on Name Your Price. It's just such a freaking cool show. And also, guess what I got? So, I was actually, when I was at Name Your Price, after the show ended, I was actually able to talk to Carl and give him, because I had, like, a bracelet for him. I had some artwork, and I was able to give it to him. And I just stayed there lingering, and the employee had, like, all of the stuff, like, the props that they used for the show, like, all of the products that they used. And this girl, like, the lady had, the blender. And it's the blender that Carl threw. Maybe I'll put a shoot. And it was the blender Carl threw, so maybe I'll put a clip right here. Carl! Yeah, so that blender, they gave it to me. They gave me the blender. Not only that, they were also handing out the contestants, like, some of the numbers that they wrote down. So here's Hassan's that he wrote. He wrote 51 for, like, the ducks.
51 ducks. What?
And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was for the teddy bear. This is Carl's. He wrote 800.
What is
$800.
$800.
So yeah, I have Hassan's, I have Carl's, and I have the blender that Carl threw, which again right now is my prized possession. But honestly, day 2 was a lot better. It was a lot, I want to say, more organized and more enjoyable, but yeah, that was really it. Honestly, I had a great time on day 3. Throughout the whole day, I just met a lot of creators, like so many people that I watch, and it was just crazy. Like, I think on like Sunday was the day I met everyone I could have wanted to meet. Not only did I meet Carl again, I met Quackity. And something you should know about me is I have been watching Quackity for, I want to say, maybe 6 years now. And getting to meet Quackity was one of the best experiences I can ever, like, have. It was just such a crazy moment. I never in my life would have thought I would ever be able to meet Quackity. And it was just an amazing experience. And I actually have another story. I have 2 more stories. The next story I want to say is I actually got to meet Bilzo. We were in line to take photos with him and stuff, but sadly his sugar was going down, so he was like, oh, I gotta go. He had to go get some soda. You gotta get some like sugar in his system, and we were like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And he said, okay, guys, before I go, just everyone like take photos, like come get a high five, like whatever you can. So I went up to Bilzo, and I actually said, Bilzo, like I have to tell you something. And so he turns to me, and he's like smiling at me and all that stuff, and I said, Bilzo, I tweeted this out that you look just like this wet cat. And I showed him the photo of the wet cat, and he said, that's effed up, and just laughed and like started walking away from me. And I was like, I'm sorry, Bilzo, I just had to tell you that. So Bilzo, if you happen to watch this video, that was me. I'm sorry, I just had to tell you that because it's just been bothering me. I tweeted it. I just needed people to know. I'm so sorry, Bilzo. But it's true, you do look like the cat. I'm so sorry. And the next story I wanted to tell you is actually about the blender. So as you saw, the blender has a bunch of names written on it. And throughout the whole day, I actually had a bunch of content creators sign the blender. And it was awesome. So I actually had Austin, Hassan, XQC, Tina, Sam, Connor Eats Pants, Eric, 5UP, and of course, I don't know if I already said this. Did I say Carl? I had Carl sign it, and it was awesome. And what's funny is when, like, that whole day, I was like, I have to find Carl. I have to have him sign the blender. Like, it's a must right now. And throughout that whole day trying to find Carl, I was telling, like, Hassan, I was telling Austin, I was like, yo, I gotta find Carl. Like, I really need him to sign it. And they were just laughing. They're like, oh my gosh, you can't throw that away. Even, like, Seer and Will said, like, you can't throw that away. Like, it's such a... Like, this is, like, the most, like, coolest thing you can ever have right now. And I was like, I know. I'm not throwing this box away. Trust me. I'm not throwing this away. This has become my personality. And also, when I did meet Carl for him to sign the box, when he was signing it, I actually asked him, I was like, why did you throw my blender? And he was just telling me, like, oh, it just had to be done. Like, he had to do it. And so I was like, that's... Honestly, I'm fine with that. I am now the blender box person. Now that I kind of told my experience with the 3 days and like stories, let's just talk about like my whole thoughts on like the whole experience.
That's a long-winded way of calling me a homosexual.
So a few things, I will compare it a bit to VidCon. One, I think at TwitchCon I actually got to meet a lot more people than VidCon. VidCon, they had people like really hidden, so it was really hard to see them or find them. And when you did, and people started swarming them, they would just be immediately, like, they would take them away. At TwitchCon, I was able to, again, to meet more people. They were out, they were walking, it was crazy. I just was not expecting that. Security at VidCon was better, though. I will say that. They were much more nicer. But, like, at VidCon, I had a much more, like, a better experience, you can say. They were more organized. Organized, that's the word. They were more organized. And also, I think the one thing I liked about VidCon was that they had... like meet and greets. Like, you had to have, they had like a system for meet and greets that you had to put in, like, oh, I want to meet this person and this person, this person. While TwitchCon was first come first serve, though it's nice to have a first come first serve because you could have a possibility to meet the person you want to see, they still need to come up with a better system. And also, I wanted to talk about, actually, TwitchCon needs to fix a lot of their, they really did disrespect creators, honestly. They did disrespect a few, like Amesy and Karam. Like, they didn't really respect them that much. And I know Rambu was really mad about everything too. And I know he talked about it. Another thing I actually have a problem with that I actually want to talk about. This is a much more serious thing that actually bothers me. And it's about camping out at hotels. So this is just going to be a quick thing. If you are a fan and you're camping out at a hotel that a content creator is staying at, you're not a fan, you're a creep, and you're a stalker. You should just stop. I cannot believe, like, Crumb has talked about this, how it made them feel so uncomfortable and not safe to be in the hotel. Like, they're like, they shouldn't have to wear a box in a hotel because there's fans that are just camping out there trying to get a signature. And I honestly felt really bad for Crumb when they talked about this, because I was like, that's just such a terrible thing. Like, content creators are not animals. Like, you're not at a zoo. They are real people. They have feelings. Like, just don't do that. Don't be a creep. Like, just, you're not a real fan if you just camp at a hotel. It's like, that's weird. That's creepy. And that really bothered me a lot. It's just like, it's so weird. Like, it's one thing to happen to stay at the same hotel as them and you like bump into them. That's one thing. It's another thing to actually be in the hotel lobby or outside of the hotel waiting to see them. It's just, that's just weird. Like, that's not fan behavior. That's just weird, creepy behavior. And if you're a person that does that, stop. Don't do that. You're not a fan. You're just weird. You really are just weird. So don't do that. But yeah, Twitch just they have to just get their act together, because if they don't, I doubt there's going to be a lot of more people who are going to be using Twitch, going to Twitchcon and like all that stuff. But yeah, I also really do feel bad for the creators that they did do dirty. They didn't deserve that, and I'm really sorry that that had to happen to them. I hope that doesn't ruin their experience for everyone else, especially during one of the panels with Crumb, Amesy, like in that panel, and the same thing with the Dream SMP panel. Like, I hope that experience doesn't make them not want to come to any other conventions or meet fans, because that would just be a really terrible thing. I'm sorry you had to get those kinds of fans asking those things and being a little like disrespectful or like showing you guys weird stuff. I'm really sorry. Not all of the fans are like that, I swear. But yeah, that's gonna be all for me. This was a very interesting video, like different format. It's so weird, like trying to pay attention to the camera, because I'm trying to like not look everywhere. But yeah, that was my experience, that was my thoughts, that was everything. Thank you again, guys, for 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. And I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video. Bye! Little behind the scenes for you guys. Okay.